Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, not much good depending on your location. Please join in the struggle to liberate our people from the contraption. Like and share videos. Nuro luayo, na nuro luayo. Nuro luayo, na nuro luayo. Ọ dịghị mgbe ike mmadụ ga-akarị ike Chukwu. Ọ dịghị mgbe ike Nigeria ga-akarị ike Biafra. Nna nuro, onye kere ụwa nuro luayo. Nna nuro, Olisa bi n'igwe nuro akwayo. Now, the news update.
Nnamdi Kanu employed 6 sons, which is Senior Advocate of Nigeria. He employed 6 of them for the purpose of giving his case some element of respect before the judges and before the prosecution, speeding up justice, and also having the sense of, acceptability. Looking at the caliber of people that he assembled as his team, you will see people from all walks of life and people who are very high in the judicial circle. All this was done to see if he could speed up the administration of justice in his case. That was what he did. And in so doing, he had to let many other lawyers go. Most of these lawyers have also done their bits in the rounds, but it looked as if there was no headway with the way they were going in the past, and he had to employ these senior lawyers to carry on from where they stopped, probably to steer the case the way he wanted, and to add some respect, most importantly, and verve to the case. And also hoping that these new lawyers, who perhaps one way or the other understand the mechanisms of the Nigerian government and the Nigerian institutions and Nigerian judiciary and how it works, the workings in and out, will be able to manipulate their way through for Nnamdi Kanu, thereby giving him speedy justice and blocking out any unfavorable, judgment from the court, and also alerting Nnamdi Kanu on any games they are playing behind his back. But so far, these 6 sons have not given us what we want, one way or the other. I'm not saying that it's in their hands to give judgment, but at least when it comes to also raising alarm when things are going wrongly, they have not lived up to expectations, and that is the least of the things we desire from them. To do as Mazi Nnamdi Kanu did. Because so far, it looks as if in all these changes, it is the one that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu did by himself that is working so far, which is ensuring that Justice Binta Nyako was changed in the first place to another judge. He fought for that change. And likewise, that is the way I expect the lawyers to also fight for this justice, even inside the court and outside the court. An advocate is an advocate, be it inside the court and outside the court. Because since the last court case, we have not even heard a word from them, knowing that this case is a high caliber case. Also, Justice Omotosho, obviously, as you can see, is working for his paymasters, the Nigerian government. If not, tell me, Kanu Agabi himself is even a more, correct me if I'm wrong, but Kanu Agabi himself is a senior lawyer to Omotosho. A much more senior lawyer to Omotosho, if I'm wrong. Because Agabi was a former Attorney General many years ago. And look at his face, you can see that he's even much older than Omotosho, who is, of course, in his late 50s stroke early 60s. So Agabi is a senior lawyer, and as such should not be afraid of anything that goes on behind our back. He should not be afraid of speaking up when things are not going in the favor or when there is a rigmarole somewhere here and there. He should not be afraid to talk to Omotosho face to face and tell him, Oga, this thing you are doing is not the right pattern. Or is Agabi telling me today that everything Omotosho is doing is according to the law? Because I have done a video here before listing out the illegalities Omotosho has done so far. Key of which, there is no place in Nigerian constitution that grants a judge any power to adjourn case indefinitely or more than a stipulated period of time. Mostly when it comes to accelerated trial or criminal cases in the Nigerian Criminal Justice Act. So having said that, it is painful to see people who were brought in for a very strong reason giving us more reasons of why we should have stuck with the old guard instead. With all due respect to who they are and what they have done so far in their careers, whatever you have achieved in your careers has nothing to do with the next case. Because, of course, like sports or like in football, it's always about the next match or about the next battle. So this Nnamdi Kanu's case is different from whatever achievement you all have achieved in life. And it will be very wrong of you to heap your stars, to heap yourself that you are this and you have done that. Do this now, let us see. Do it now, let us see. Because things have changed. Obviously, you know the system. So do not allow yourself to be moved. Do not allow yourself to be bullied by the same system that you know. If not, it will be a waste of resources paying people who do not behave like as if they understand what is going on. It's very funny because as we speak right now, the Nigerian Bar Association are having a very big conference in Nigeria. Of course, in Enugu State, to be precise.
With great honor and joy at this opening ceremony of the Nigerian Bar Association Annual General Conference here in the historic and lively city of Enugu. Enugu is fondly referred to as the Coal City. It is a treasure trove of history, culture, and natural beauty. It is a city built on hills and surrounded by crouching hills. Breathtaking waterfall, intriguing caves, scenic beauty, and some of the best local eateries for serving okpa, abacha, achicha, fio, and many other local delicacies. Of course,
they are having a big conference. And I wonder what will be the topic of discussion in this Nigerian Bar Association conference. Because the injustices going on in Nigerian legal system alone, the corruption going on in Nigerian system alone, judicial system alone, is enough topic for them to be used in this year's NBA conference. I am telling you, it's enough topic. The insecurity going on in the southeast and the injustice going on in Biafra land is enough topic to be discussed in NBA conference. Also, the chairman of the NBA is an Igbo man. Of course, Mr. Osigwe himself. And I believe that as an Igbo man, he should use his platform now to draw attention to the plight of the aggrieved, of the disenfranchised in Nigeria and Igbo, to be precise. Because it's not when a Yoruba man becomes chairman of NBA or a Hausa man becomes chairman of NBA, you will start expecting them to use their office to draw their attention. That is how Nigeria works. Whoever is in charge should take care of his people. Also, I'm saying this because the injustice going on in Nigeria is too much. And the caging of Igbo in Nigeria is too much. The betrayals, the attacks by Fulani herdsmen who are sent to the bushes of the southeast to kidnap and operate and steal land is hard to bear. People are being pied every day. People are being molested every day in the bushes. So this conference should be a wonderful place to discuss such, because as lawyers, your job is to provide justice, should provide concern, should raise, topics that benefit, the democracy itself that you find yourself into, failure of which you can't even administer justice itself in the first place. This man was invited to NBA conference, Mr. Julius Malema, the leader of the EFF of South Africa, the Economic Freedom Fighters. That is the EFF. It's a political party in South Africa and a movement also. They are always pressuring, the leading power itself. They are the opposition party in South Africa that are always, putting pressure on the government in power at all times. They are a popular party. Julius Malema, you will know him very well. He was invited for the NBA conference, of course, as the keynote speaker. And in his speech, he said clearly that he is looking forward and supporting an Africa where we have one single president, an Africa with one single president, an Africa with one single currency, and an Africa with one single border. They will not have multiple borders, just round, not just no borders. An Africa with no borders. That means he's saying a one and united States of Africa. Exactly the same thing that Muammar Gaddafi of Libya asked for. And I ask myself, and I ask Julius Malema, What kind of Africa will you have if the greatest tribe in Africa, the Jews of Africa, the most industrious and powerful tribe of Africa that will drive the Africa mission, the Africa vision to a success? What will happen to that Africa if that tribe is slaves in Nigeria? Because there will be no progress in Africa if the Igbo man is still a slave. If the Igbo man is still living disenfranchised, has not yet emancipated, is still living in peanuts, is still begging, is still living in borders in his own country, there will be no Africa if Igbo is not free. What kind of Africa would that be? So I'm posing this to Julius Malema. You should push rather for indigenous tribes to break free from the shackles of their masters. Because in Africa, we are still living under colonial masters' indirect rule, through other tribes suppressing the others. And until the Igbo man is free from this, Africa cannot move forward. You see Nigerians in South Africa, you see Nigerians there that are doing well, pushing your economy, you think that they're Nigerians. They are Igbos who are doing it. Go to African countries, around African countries, you see Nigerians who are living there, who are boosting the economy of Ghana, of Kenya, of Mozambique, of South Africa, of Egypt, they are not just Nigerians, they are Igbos. So don't misunderstand yourself when you see progressive Nigerians, you say Nigerians are progressive. It is Igbo who are actually the progress of Nigeria itself in the first place. And you will never get the best out of Africa if Igbos do not have their own country. Julius Malema, you need men like you to push this drive forward. And Mazi Kanu is exactly like you. This is a man who is built the way you are, who speaks the way you speak, who is as confident as the way you are confident, and believes in the ideas of freedom and Pan-Africanism the way you believe. It's only proper if you fight and add your voice to the freedom of Mazi Kanu, which I know that by now you know that he is in shackles in this Nigerian state. I would have loved you to also mention it in your speech to draw attention to the injustice happening in Nigeria. But obviously, I know that you will not want to, offend the conference who have in attendance Nigerians from all walks of life. And definitely, you may have also been told, to guard some statements, not to make inflammatory statements that will, cause disaffection. I understand you, I understand. But that's what I'm saying. There is no one Africa without one Igbo independent. It can't happen. Even if it happens, that will be a backward Africa, an untapped Africa. Because the strength of Nigeria is in the Igbo, and the strength of Africa is the Igbo, and the strength of the world, Igbos are among the Chinese, the Indians, the Jews, and the Igbos, definitely. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Igbos falling. Google it and find out. This is not to say other tribes are not good or bad, but when you are a tribe that you allow yourself to be subservient to the British, you can never grow. The secret of Igbo success is their unbowed, unbended nature and the ability to believe in themselves and their republican nature. They are independent of themselves. This is a rallying cause to tell Omotosho, to tell Nigerian government to release Mazi Kanu today. Release him today. And I'm also telling the lawyers, this is the end of the case. On 10th of October is the end of the case. He becomes a political prisoner. Stop defending him. Because the more you defend Nnamdi Kanu, the more he is a defendant to a crime. That is exactly how it is, and that is the politics involved. So stop defending Nnamdi Kanu so that he automatically is seen as a political prisoner the way he should be. A man held without defense. A man that is in prison without defense for 6 years. Yes. Abandon the case on the 10th. Just hands off if they refuse to set him free. Or if he postpones that case again. Because it was very clear that the last time they were in court, Buhari died. And of course they postponed the case for whatever reasons they wanted. To mourn Buhari or whatever, that's their business. But on 10th of October is the day we're waiting for. And I know, God willing, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu will be free.
My people, on don't hear them now. What do you make of it? Drop your comments. But remember, it's Biafra or nothing. Bye for now.